Lexus changes hybrid tack in pursuit of driver appeal for its large SUV. Car marques like Lexus haven't typically been around long enough to have been involved in the conception of many current vehicle types either, but with the Lexus RX luxury SUV, Toyota's premium brand thus claimed to have been something of a pioneer. When the first-generation Lexus RX was launched in 1998, what would become known as the luxury SUV market really only had ladder frame cars within it: the P38A Range Rover, the Mercedes M-Class and, in North America, the Lincoln Navigator, with its monocoque chassis and choice of either front or four-wheel drive. However, the RX demonstrated how much bulk could be saved by adopting a more car-like construction. Later, in 2005, the RX also brought hybrid power to the class. In both senses, it has been one of the luxury SUV's greater modernizing influences. And now entering its fifth model generation, the RX is branching out. The V6 petrol engines that powered the car previously have been discarded, and new and more efficient four-cylinder units brought in. More interesting still, though, are the arrival of two all-new RX derivatives to sit alongside the familiar self-charging petrol hybrid. The RX 450 hours plus plug-in hybrid is the one most will have seen coming, Lexus adopting and refining powertrain technology from the likes of the Toyota RAV for PHEV. But the RX 500 hours is a Lexus like none we have seen before. It mates a turbocharged petrol engine with a 6-speed automatic gearbox, discarding the CVT-style power splitter transmission that both Toyota and Lexus hybrids have always used, and adds a new torque vectoring electric rear axle too. The RX 500h represents the first time that any Toyota or Lexus hybrid has prioritized either performance or driver engagement over outright efficiency, or sought to foster a deeper connection between driver and car. Range at a glance. Lexus has slimmed and simplified its usual derivative structure. For this new RX, buyers first choose from regular 350 hours hybrid, 450 hours plus plug-in hybrid, and range-topping 500h hybrid powertrains, each offering four-wheel drive. They can then opt for regular or Takumi trim with the lesser hybrids, or F-Sport or Takumi in the 500 hours. A Premium Plus package is a de facto trim level on the 350 hours and 450 hours plus. Design and styling. Any mission to redefine how much driver appeal a petrol-electric car can conjure starts at a disadvantage in choosing as its delivery mechanism a car like the new Lexus RX. This is a full-size, 4.9-meter, 5-seat SUV weighing a little under 2.1 tons as tested. It is at least the sort of car that Lexus sells plenty of, though, rather than one perhaps specially intended to make a fresh and emphatic statement. Like the Lexus NX before it, as well as the Toyota's RAV4 and Highlander, the RX moves onto Toyota's TNGA-K platform, albeit a particularly long wheelbase, widely structurally reinforced version of it. That move delivers 60 millimeters of extra wheelbase and cabin space within the same overall length. The new RX is also a little lower and wider than the fourth-generation version, with lower roof and belt lines, a lower driver's hip point, and a lower center of gravity. Like 4-like models weigh some 90 kilograms, less than those they directly replace thanks to lightweight substitutions, such as the use of aluminium for the bonnet and front wings. The car's outward design benefits from a more integrated philosophy on Lexus's spindle motif. Instead of having a conspicuous double-tapered grille apparently grafted onto the front, the shape of that spindle is cast into the bodywork of the front end. Much of the rest of the car, however, looks almost slavishly familiar. The 500 hours mates a transverse-mounted, 2.4-liter turbocharged four-cylinder petrol engine, making the 6.8 bhp at peak with an 86 bhp electric motor, generator, and a 6-speed automatic gearbox up front, plus a second 102 bhp drive motor, much more powerful than the one fitted to either the 350 hours or 450 hours plus on the rear wheels. Power for those motors comes from a new, low-resistance nickel-metal hydride drive battery that's carried under the rear seats, which is designed for fast charge and discharge. And so peak system output for the RX 500 hours is 366 bhp and 406 pounds-feet, hardly the sort of numbers that will lure Porsche Cayenne or Range Rover Sport owners in their droves, although they might just get a flicker of attention. The RX's axles, meanwhile, McPherson struts at the front and multiple links at the rear have been designed with better steering feel and lateral wheel location in mind. Suspension is via fixed-height steel coils, with Lexus's adaptive variable suspension dampers fitted as standard to the specially tuned suspension of F-Sport models, the only model trim in which the RX 500H is offered. Four-wheel steering is also standard fit on the RX 500 hours, with rear axle countersteering angle now increased to a maximum of 4-day. Braking is via an electronic by-wire system with enlarged discs and calipers. Interior. Lexus has always gone above and beyond European luxury class norms in pursuit of a particular kind of material richness, tactile appeal, and weighty perceived quality. The new RX is evidence that the firm continues to, and with apparent success in terms of how hefty and solid feeling are the car's cabin fittings, and how expensively put together they all seem. The brand's latest interior layout philosophy, which it calls Tazuna, aims to put all controls within easy reach of the driver, to keep their hands on the wheel and eyes on the road for as long as possible. It is a laudable intention and is realized in some ways, though not all. The car's touch tracer control pads on the steering wheel spokes, which we praised on the Current and X SUV, work particularly well, combining with the head-up display to deliver easy multi-function control of the cruise control and audio systems without taking your eyes off the road at all. But it's a shame the same logic hasn't been applied to control of the RX's new 14" touchscreen infotainment system, for which there is no separate cursor control. Everything, poking and swiping included, is done at arm's length. Infotainment aside, there's a pervading sense of attention to detail about the RX's interior, from its appealing material trim choices, right down to the clever center armrest cubby cover, double-hinged so as to open towards either side. Finding even one cheap-feeling molding or fitting is a tough task. Meanwhile, although onboard space isn't quite up there with the most commodious luxury SUVs, a boot with some 600 liters of available cargo space up to the roof, and plenty of room in row 2, make the RX's level of practicality hard to find serious fault with. Unless, of course, you need a 7-seater. Lexus's latest infotainment system, Lexus Link Pro, has been developed for better connectivity and better voice control. It responds to Hey Lexus commands and works better than some voice recognition systems. It has a 14" touchscreen control console with permanent heater functions and a volume button beneath it. But there's no separate cursor controller, so everything you can't do via voice command has to be done with an outstretched hand. While a home screen with a collection of most commonly used functions is a neat idea, changing some settings can be a frustratingly slow, complex process. The system is fully connected and capable of over-the-air updates without any help from your smartphone. On that score, it offers inductive smartphone charging and wireless Apple CarPlay connectivity, but only wired connectivity for Android handsets.